Hello, my name is Apurva Mandhani. You've seen me on the Prince YouTube channel explaining law to you, speaking to you about the constitution and more. But earlier this month, I set on a journey across Uttar Pradesh to bring you a sense of what's happening on ground ahead of Lok Sabha elections. I was excited, I was nervous, but I was prepared for the politicians, for the people of UP, and for experiencing politics from the ground. What I wasn't prepared for was a trip through crocodile-infested waters and rides through core areas of a jungle. And this is the story that I want to tell you about in this video, which is my reporter's diary. Now, we were in Lucknow when the Prince national photo editor Praveen Jain and I heard of villages on the India-Nepal border which can only be accessed through boats and routes that go through the Katarnia Ghat jungle. We heard that some of these villages had never even had an Indian mobile network. And like good journalists, we wanted to see for ourselves. We were certain that we did not want to make these villages wait on the sidelines anymore. So we took a detour that lasted 2 days. Unaware of how this was going to be one of the most challenging assignments for both of us. We left for Bahraich at 10 AM in the morning, and as soon as we approached the Katarnia Ghat Wildlife Sanctuary, we lost mobile connectivity. Our journey had of course begun. We made our way to a small clearing at the banks of the Girva river where we were told we'd have to wait for a boat that would take us across. Now, just to let you know, both Praveen and I hopped onto this boat laden with our shooting equipment alongside residents of these villages as well as goods that were being taken across, but both of us do not know how to swim. And in any case, we were certain that swimming wouldn't save us from the crocodiles that inhabit Girva river if the boat did capsize. We were both holding our breaths, but at the same time taking our surroundings in, and what seemed like a narrow stretch soon opened up to the vast waters of the Girva river glistening in the afternoon sun. We of course were relieved once we reached the shore, only to be told that Bhartapur is another 6 kilometers long drive away, and this time through the dense Katarnia Ghat jungle, which is a mosaic of sal and teak forests, lush grasslands, swamps and wetlands which are home to gharials, tigers, rhinos and elephants. We asked around and sought help from the Sashastra Seema Bal at the shore of the Girva river because the terrain felt extremely treacherous and alien to both of us. The path through the jungle was barely a clearing amidst the beautiful greenery all around. We were racing against time because we had to get back before sunset, while the beauty of the forest of course left us enamored. When we finally made it to Bhartapur, what we saw was a patchwork of thatched roofs, with the primary school being the only pakka construction in the village. The villagers, who don't often have outside visitors, were initially curious at seeing us, but began opening up as soon as we mentioned we were journalists. The entire village gathered around us to show us their way of life. This one woman, Kalavati, had tears in her eyes. In her local language, she told us how the villagers were tormented by sorrows. They told us that they didn't have access to the most basic facilities like healthcare, education and electricity. The houses in the village function on small solar panels set up on top of their huts. They told us how the village has a school, but the teachers often don't end up coming if they have an animal encounter in the jungle. They told us about the wild animals that have killed their people. They told us how the politicians don't visit their village and how they barely ever receive any help from them. They told us how the sick die on the way to the hospital, which is over 50 kilometers away, again through the jungle and water route. It was clear that their stories aren't for the faint-hearted, and their pain doesn't have too many listeners. And we of course lost track of time before we realized it was already sunset. Both of us rushed towards the jungle once again, taking along of course all of their stories with us. The journey back through the jungle was even tougher in the dark because every rustling of leaves made us quiver. On the river, the villager handling the boat was expertly using just a flashlight to navigate the waters through the pitch black of the night. Both Praveen and I could barely sleep that night, to be honest, with our phones still catching weak network. We were just left alone with our thoughts, and our minds were essentially still in Bhartapur. The next day, our mission was to go to 4 more villages on the India-Nepal border. We had heard stories about how these villages get no mobile network at all ever, and the villagers had warned that they would boycott the elections if the authorities don't act now. The route to these villages also goes through the Katarnia Ghat jungle. When we were a few hundred meters away from these villages, we realized that the route was blocked by a huge tree trunk. The jungle was giving us, essentially, we realized, a glimpse into the difficulties that these villagers face every day. We were also told about how now somebody would have to go manually and inform the authorities about clearing the pathway. And inside these villages, every wall was painted with slogans like "No tower, no power, no network, no vote." While these villages did not have a difficult territory like Bhartapur, they were disconnected from the outside world, struggling to access the most basic resources due to lack of an Indian mobile network. A villager even told us that if in that moment something happens to Praveen or me, they weren't sure if they'd be able to get us the required help in time. And imagine our surprise when we learned that they get better signal from Nepal networks, and in fact even use Nepali SIM instead. These villagers also told us stories about the disconnect that they feel with the rest of the country. They were hungry for development, hungry for connection with the outside world, hungry for watching their children progress and grow in life. Swiftly responding to the basic demand, a lone BSNL tower was fixed in the village last month, but villagers still said that their demand for private networks will continue. Since these villages were so close to the border, we also visited the India-Nepal border near the Katarnia Ghat jungle. The learning was essentially that the borders get really blurry when you see them up close. Our 2-day trip ended near the Ghagra Barrage, where we ate ghatis, a version of the traditional bati. While we were savoring the sattu balls, a monkey leapt at my plate and stole a ghati as I was strolling through my mobile phone, which essentially finally had functioning network. And that's where our story ended.